Alright, in this video we're going to be making and reviewing a recipe, and this is one of those I kind of put recipe in quotation marks because while there is a recipe for something and it's more of like a design aesthetic. Anyway, it's in the Disney Princess, but bonus, it's also in the Tiana's, and it's almost in the Tiana's twice, and I'll explain in a minute. But in the Princess Cookbook, it's called Tasty Flour Sandwiches, and I'm going to just show you a picture right here, if you can see it. So basically what you do is you take a cookie cutter and you cut out a flower shape, and then you take another cookie cutter that's more circle and you make a little hole, and you kind of alternate between white and wheat bread. If you see here, like there's white bread, there's wheat bread. So you cut different pieces, and then you cut your lunch meat and your sandwiches. Now, there is a recipe in there for a spread. It's a mayo spread where you add a couple seasonings to it, some spices, and you do it on top of that. In the Tiana cookbook, they actually call it something a little different, ham and cheese blossom sandwiches, but it's the same thing. And one of the reasons I say it's a two-for in a way is also in the Tiana cookbook, on the next page, they do something similar called PB&J blossom sandwiches, as you can see here. And that's a little bit different. You don't do the mixed breads in this one, but you basically use the flower shape and you make peanut butter and jelly, but you cut a little hole out of the bread so you kind of get the jelly to kind of show through in the middle a little bit. Anyway, we're going to put the sandwiches together and come back with reviews. All right, let's make these heart-shaped things. All right, so I'm going to cut this out of there. And that's definitely the sharper end. There we go. Crust out. Let's put a hole in the center. Got that. Clean up the edges just a little bit there. All right, now let's do it on the white bread. The center. That part's easy. All right, now let's cut the shape there. All right, I'm supposed to put the there. That goes in there. Mayonnaise here. Take the back side of this. Put that there. And I've got my ham here. It's a thinner ham, so I used a couple slices. That's not exactly perfect, but that's all right. You really can't see the part in the middle there. I'm just gonna add just a little bit more. Voila, a sandwich. All right, so there was me putting the tasty flour sandwiches together. As you can see, it was actually really simple and really fairly easy. You know, just use the cookie cutters, cut out those shapes, you know, switch the breads between the halves, cut the same shapes with the meat and the cheese. Obviously, I didn't cut a hole in the meat and the cheese part, like the lunch meat part. And then there was the spread I put on top. And I will say, I really did like the spread. That was the one thing that was kind of actually a recipe in these tasty flour sandwiches, was the mayonnaise, and they give you a couple like spices and seasonings to add to the mayonnaise. And I actually really did like that, so I thought that was really good. Again, I won't give out the exact recipe. So, but they were cute. So let me get into the rankings review and talk about a little bit more. The first is the ingredients on a scale of 1 to 5, with 1 being easy, simple to find ingredients, and that's what they are. They're a 1. They're easy, simple to find ingredients, don't really cost you a lot of money. You just go out and you buy bread. Now you have to buy 2 loaves. You have to buy wheat and white bread. And then you just buy your lunch meat and your cheese and mayonnaise to make the thing, and spices. Simple, simple, simple. Difficulty level on a scale of 1 to 5, this is again a 1. You know, this is really simple and easy. You just use your cookie cutters and you got to put them together. And actually, now that I think about that, you know, the ingredients I could almost rank up to a 2. If you don't have the cookie cutters, you have to go buy them, but either way. And then when I make this again on a scale of 1 to 5, so I'm going to put a 3, and here's why. So I thought they were really cute. I'm not going to go out of my way to buy 2 loaves of bread all the time and make these sandwiches, you know, even though they were cute. I did like the spread, so I'll make the spread again. That's definitely a 5. But making the flower shaped sandwiches, I think they were pretty. I think they would be something I would see myself making for maybe like a bridal shower or a baby shower, or maybe I was gonna do a little tea party. I think a little tea party would be super cute, you know, with these, with the flowers and stuff, and make them, or kids, you know, if I had my niece and nephew over and want to do something fun with their sandwiches, you know, I think that for kids, they could love this, fun little flower shapes. So that's why I'm gonna put a 3. I'm not gonna personally go out of my way just to have a sandwich snack to make these flower shapes, but I could see myself potentially making those fun shapes again sometime, you know, just for inspiration if I wanted to do something different for a special occasion.